Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. All my drag racers. I'm glad to be back here with you. This is the second part for we had two episodes tonight. Rue actually aired season 6, episode 7, and season 6, episode 8, all on the same night. So this was the second episode. Um, we were left off up here at episode 7. It was very good. It was very entertaining because I honestly thought one episode would be boring and the other one wouldn't. But Rue, you didn't disappoint, girl. The episodes were very good back to back. I don't even know how I'm gonna go to sleep tonight, but we're ratting way up here. Thank you, RuPaul. Um, Honey, all the shit hit the fan on this second episode for season 6, episode 8. The shit hit the fan tonight, honey. This episode touched on what drag really is and really looks like behind the scenes. So if you're not an actual drag queen and you don't really know what really goes on, if you watch this episode, baby, you got to see some of what we actually go through and what actually goes more so than Untucked. You got to see some of what really goes on in drag behind the scenes right in the first 5-10 minutes of the show. Okay, so we had all the bullshit that went on between Jocelyn Fox and Courtney Act. And just to reiterate, Jocelyn and Courtney and episode 7 were put together to work together. Jocelyn is a person who already idolized Courtney. She actually got to see Courtney for what she really was, which was a nasty little bitch from Australia that she had no business idolizing in the first place because she's a bitch. So she actually seen her. But what I lived for, baby, as soon as the episode started, Jocelyn called this Courtney Act out on her bullshit before we even got started. Called her out on it. Told her ass about how I idolized you and I was really nice with you and I look up to you and you were just nasty and curt and you keep reading me and carrying on and I've done nothing to you. Called her out on it. So at that point, my eyes were this big, honey, and I said, now what is this bitch get ready to say? And of course, that bitch did what drag queens do. Because, see, a lot of times, queens are punks. They're punks. And if you just kind of let them go and you ignore them, they continue on. But if you call them on their bullshit, most of them bitches are punks. She started the backpedaling and carrying on and, oh no, well, I really didn't mean it like that. Bullshit. Bullshit. That bitch was nasty. She meant to be nasty. She was cutting at her, and she did it on purpose, and she knew exactly what she was doing. Then Bianca Del Rio joined in and called the bitch on. It was like, yeah, bitch, you weren't doing that. So the bitch was dead on Front Street. Fabulous. Fabulous. Now, this is something that you don't see happen that much in the drag world. A bitch get caught on her shit, try to backpedal. Baby Jocelyn did not accept. She did not accept that fake ass apology. I've been there. I've been in this situation. I've always chosen to take the high road. My drag name's Moulin Treasure. Everybody knows that. You've never heard of me screaming and yelling at pageants. You've never heard of me fighting with queens. I've always took the more professional road, and I just don't get into it because I know me. And I don't want to make you lie to me. I don't want to make you start backpedaling your bullshit because then I get mad. So I just take the road and just let it go because I don't want no queen standing in my face lying to me because where you said smart shit and I kind of let it go, if you start that backpedaling, that'll make me want to yank the shit out of you because now you're trying to play on my intelligence. But I understand this stuff and I've seen this stuff and I was so glad to see it in its true, rare form. True rare form. And Jocelyn, she didn't act ugly. She didn't act nasty. She told her, you're backpedaling. It is what it is. Left it alone. And then when she went in her confessional, that bitch said, ain't no problem because I'm a seer. And that's what you're supposed to do. She's on television and that was it. Start working. Start working toward her. Come after the bitch. Come after the bitch where it hurts her in her pocket. Send the bitch home. So I lived for that. And I have to say, I told you in the last video, I was starting to like Courtney Act, pardon me, less and less. Well, I'm absolutely done with her now because she showed herself to be no different than any other punk ass queen that I've actually ran across that does all this reading and shading. And the thing is, she sees Jocelyn as she's intimidated by her because they do the same thing. They both get naked. They both do that same little thing. Their aesthetic is the same. And she's not ever going to admit it, but she sees the bitch as a threat. And that's what the problem is. That's what the problem is. I have no respect for a bitch like that. None. None. None at all. Now, I have a whole lot of respect for a bitch that will just say whatever they want to say and stand on it. And I'm telling you, there's not very many queens like that that I've met. And I've been in the business for quite a while. Since 93, I've been in the business. And I have to say, and I'm going to go ahead and shout her out right now. There is a queen. Her name is the legendary Misty Knight. Misty Knight is from Dayton, Ohio. I met Misty years ago. I have a lot of respect for Misty. I don't see her as a shady queen, but Misty is a queen that has been in the business for a long time, and she speaks her mind and she stands in her truth. If Misty thought you were fucked up, Misty will tell you you were fucked up. And then she'll explain to you why she felt like it was fucked up. She's not going to backpedal. She's not going to do any of that. You know what I mean? That's why, again, in the front of her name is the legendary Misty Knight. She's an older queen and she's been here for a long time. You don't get to be an older queen and be here a very long time backpedaling and playing those little nasty games. So I'm sure there are some more queens out there like that, but I know her personally. She's the only queen that I know like that literally stands firm in her ground of what she's talking about, and then the shit makes sense. Now, I know some ignorant bitches that'll just say some shit that's not even accurate. They'll say some old nasty shit and then can't even explain you out of it. Well, girl, that's fucked up, and this is what you should do. It's girl that's fucked up, and they have their own innuendo. Misty, if she tells you your shit's fucked up and it's raggedy, that bitch will tell you how to fix it. So on that, I'm going to stop ranting. I'm going to go on into my show. But Misty Knight, Dayton, Ohio, darling, I love you. And I appreciate you. And I always respected the fact that, but you will stand in your shit and keep it moving and keep it 100. All right, let's move on. I've said it. Let's move on. This episode was Drag Queens of Comedy. So in this episode, Rue was going to have the girls do a lot of comedy stuff, and then ultimately they're going to do an on-stage comedy act. They start off with a little fun little challenge. It's a chin challenge. They put them in a box and turn them upside down, and they painted their chins and stuff and wrapped all of this up and kept this out, and they lip synced one of Rue's songs. Just funny. It was just a little funny challenge. Nothing real big. Jocelyn Fox actually won, so I was glad of that. Before we even go, because I'm going to go down through the girls and their little comedy. Honey, the biggest joke of all that was told was Rue's dress when she came out on the runway. It was just horrible. Horrible, 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 horrible. And I took, every week when I talk about the runway, I tell you what I think of the runway look, even Rue's look. And I've been underwhelmed every week for the most part, this season. I didn't even say anything about the dress from episode 7. I was trying to keep it 100. I just wasn't going to say anything. The bitch from Neck Up was flawless, but now that you pulled this stunt on the 8th, that dress was just wrong, Rue. Again, from Neck Up, girl, you're flawless. Them dresses, I'm just sick of them. I am just sick of them. I want her to get a new designer or try Santino or something. Now, that's a cry, girl. Come on, try a different designer or something. But whatever, I just wasn't feeling that dress. Let's move on to the girls in their comedy acts. Darian Lake went first. Darian actually was funny. She was funny. Oh, and let me tell you, there was senior citizens. That was the curveball. They threw senior citizens in the audience after they had to start getting their little routines together. The first couple rows were all covered with senior citizens. So that threw a monkey wrench in the shit. Darian Lake was really funny. She was funny. She was tasteful. And the bitch had on a good pair of shoes. She had on a nice pair of slingback pumps that didn't look like little piggy covers. So that was really good. I said, you go on, Darian. Courtney act, Not good. She was just walking around talking, no laughs. It was just nothing given. Adore Delano, she was dying slowly. The whole time she was up there, she was dying slowly. The bitch was cussing. She was motherfucking and fucking back and forth. And the elderly folks, they were not feeling it. You could just see it in their faces. They just had no, and it was, there's one thing to curse as a comedian, you know, if you can curse and it be funny, they'll let you make it. Like Monique. Monique curses and it's funny, and most times they let her make it. Some more, same thing, they let her make it. One of the most offensive bitches in the world is what is this child's name? I can't think of her name right now. It'll come back to me. But she's very rude and very curt, and they let her make it. But the things that she says is funny. You know what I mean? When you're just up there just motherfucking just to be it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And that's what Adore had going on. Ben Delacreme came out. She started into a joke, and I see where it was going. I seen her building the joke. It was like a continuous joke. I saw it build it, and I think she punked out at the last minute because of the older people that were there. It was starting to get very raunchy, and I think she rethought it while she was on stage, and she retreated. So it kind of just made it look like she was just telling a story. And then there was a heckler, and the heckler's like, "Well, tell us a joke," and that threw me off as well because I'm like, when did Rue start putting a heckler in there? So, but that was kind of, I don't know, that she rethought herself, and it kind of hurt her, it messed up her whole skit. And she basically, at that point, when the heckler jumped in, she's like, "Thank you and good night," and left. Laganja was an absolute mess. She was a mess. It was a classic fail. It was all that, yes, honey, yes, yeah, honey, and all that bullshit. Them old people didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. Everything was, yes, baby doll, yeah, all that faggoty shit. They didn't get it. They were looking at her, and baby, you get your crickets in the background. So that was a mess. That just didn't work out at all. Trinity Bonet was flawless. And she was so worried about the challenge, getting everything together. The bitch looked good. She had a fabulous Asian-inspired dress. The bitch looked really, really good. And she was funny as hell. She really was. Her stage presence was on. She commanded the audience's attention the whole time. Trinity was excellent. You were excellent, Trinity. Excellent. Dead on. Jocelyn Fox. I just, on my sheet, I just wrote a question mark. Didn't work. Really didn't work. So I was kind of sad because I really wanted her to do good, but it just didn't work. And then everybody was waiting on Bianca because we know Bianca Del Rio is a funny bitch. She was hilarious. And she did actually end up winning she won the challenge of the comedy, and we figured that she would. But what we didn't figure is that Miss Trinity would be right the fuck behind her because she was right behind her. So fabulous. Trinity and Bianca, they were good to the point where them bitches could go on the road. They were really, really good. One thing that I did, when it got to getting ready to go down with who's in the bottom and who's not in the bottom, I loved when RuPaul took time out to tell, because Laganja, she started with this whole thing of being attacked and all of this. And, this bitch has been woe is me the whole time. And Ru told her, listen, let me tell you something. I am not going to try to steer you wrong, not for the sake of a goddamn TV show. And told her, I believe in you or you wouldn't be here. And you know what? I'm going to have to say, I believed it. I believed what Ru said. I thought it was very genuine, and I thought she meant every word of it. So I like the fact that she actually did take the time out to, she let her know. It's like, bitch, I'm not just keep telling you stuff. We're not just saying stuff, just to keep saying it. We could have sent you home. We told you what we wanted you to do. We're trying to help you. And I'm not trying to clown you, for the sake of the TV show. Bitch, I already got the TV show. I'm going to have the TV show whether you ever even show the fuck up. So I really did like that. Okay, on to the bottom. We had Jocelyn, Fox, and Laganja were in the bottom. They did Stupid Girls by Pink was their lip sync for your life. Now, you know, I live for a good lip sync for your life. And baby, this was the all time. They got to getting at it. You hear me? So we all know LaGanja thinks she's one of the Black Ballroom children. So she, you know, she jumps out there, she's doing her little thing, and we know that Laganja is going to, at some point, she's going to fall in a dip or she's going to do a split at some point. She does that split where she holds her leg and fall in a split, and she does this dip. We know the bitch is going to do it, so we're just waiting on it. Well, baby, what we didn't know is that Jocelyn was waiting on it too. Baby, as soon as Miss Laganja threw her leg up in the air to go do the split, baby, Miss Jocelyn met the bitch on the ground and a 6 o'clock herself. Pow! I said, yes, indeed. It was a good battle. But Miss Jocelyn, she slayed Miss Laganja on the floor. Slayed her and sent her ass packing. So it was fabulous. That I just lived for it. I lived for it. I was over here screaming. I said, baby, that split's not going to work tonight. She was waiting on it. And that be a lesson to you as well, Laganja. Queens who have a talent and queens that can dance, don't fall onto that all the time. Don't fall onto those two little power moves that you have because people start looking for them. You know, mix it up. Don't be a queen that every song you do, the performance is the same, but the music is different. So let that be a lesson to you, darling, because she sent you the fuck packing. Anyway, so it was really good. I was surprised that we had two really exciting episodes back to back to back. And I enjoyed myself this evening. And like I said, I was so hyped up, I don't even know I'm going to sleep tonight, but I'll figure it out. Thank you guys so much for following me. Thank you for clicking on the video. I will see you guys again soon. Definitely leave your comments. You know, I love when you leave comments because I might be saying something you don't agree with, and I'd like to know. And definitely, maybe you can make me look at it a different kind of way because I'm always open. I don't know everything. Trust me, I don't know everything. I know what I know. Alrighty. I love you guys, and I will talk to you again very soon. And let's wait and see what they have for us in store next week, Drag Racers. Bye-bye now. Have a good night.